Hello, visibility hackers, and welcome to today's episode of the Visibility Check. I'm your host, Coach Molle from visibilityhacking.com, and today is the day that I'm going to introduce to you something that I've been working on for the last few months, a big deep dive into the over $50 billion streaming industry and how these gamers and streamers and companies are able to make millions and millions and millions of dollars online, and how we as small business owners and as digital entrepreneurs, internet marketers, how could we harness those same tools and strategies and outcomes into our own businesses? Because you all know that visibility hacking cares deeply about the success of small businesses, of entrepreneurs, of visionary leaders, of coaches and speakers and people just like you. And we want your success, and the best way to do that is to give you the tools to make it happen. So today I'm going to share with you the brand new Stream 360 framework that is going to help you harness that same impact online using the same tools and strategies that you literally have at your fingertips. So hashtag no excuses. If you're here live, drop hashtag live in the comments. If you're here on replay, you know the rules. We're going to go hashtag team replay. And I'll just dive right into it, shall we? Yay! So the Stream 360 framework has a variety of different steps involved in it, but I don't want you to start feeling overwhelmed. There's an entire process that we're working on behind the scenes of helping you walk through this system and build out your own virtual identity. But today I'm going to give you the big overview of them all. Of course, I want you to take action. So today, your action step is to pick one of the areas of Stream 360 and start working on it. Take one slice, take one action today. And if you're brave enough, if you're doing your actions, definitely drop them down into the Visibility Hacking Facebook group. Join us in there. Tell us in the group which slice you've taken, which action you've taken, and what that is doing to your virtual identity. I really want to see how you guys take these tools and run with them. So without further ado, shall we get started? So the first part of our framework is understanding platforms. So this framework is looking at what is working in these other online industries and how we as internet marketers, specifically small businesses, solopreneurs, coaches, speakers, not big budget brands, okay? So how can small businesses harness those same tools? What is working in these industries and what can we do in our own businesses to find that same success? So the first part of the framework is platforms. So we can take the Gary Vee approach and try to be on as many platforms as possible and try to master as many platforms as possible, but that's not necessarily realistic for us as small business owners. So instead, what we're going to look at is mastering single platforms, really nurturing that community that you're building. So what you need to do is pick your platform. I want you to pick a platform. Of course, we take a multi-platform approach with our content, but where we want to be with our people is going to be very, very specific. So a lot of streamers and gamers, they hang out on Twitch. That's the marketplace for their community. A lot of internet marketers hang out on Facebook. They hang out on Instagram. They are hanging out on TikTok these days. So pick one of your platforms that you're going to start really, really nurturing your community there. We can take that content and repurpose it onto our other platforms as well, but where you show up is going to be on a single platform. So pick your platform. The next part of the framework is to recognize your audience, is to look at your audience. So we want to be really, really specific about who we're targeting. In the gaming world, they have the ability to do this by simply picking a game. And these big brands have already done a lot of the legwork for them in terms of picking their ideal clients, I guess we would call them if we use internet marketing speak. So we want to be able to have that same deep relationship with our customers. We just have to look at approaching it in a slightly different way. We don't have the luxury necessarily of getting to pick specific games and pre-existing communities there, because there are different ways to do that in the internet marketing world on different platforms. So once we pick our platform, that will help inform the rest of our strategy moving forward. When it comes to our audience, our platform will help inform how we go about finding them, how we go about communicating with them, and how we go about nurturing that relationship. So the next part of the framework is identity, and this is relevant no matter what platform you're on. It's honestly even relevant if you have no platform. If you have like mail-in books or something like that, who knows? But identity is absolutely essential to the Stream 360 model, to building those deep relationships. We see identity play out in the streaming world, in the gaming world, again, by the games that you're playing, by what your stream looks like and the brand that comes out. But we'll talk more about brand in a bit. But we want to look at the identity that your people can bring into their worlds. So it's not just about the identity that you share on your channel, but it's also about the identity that your people take on when they become one of your fans or one of your followers or one of your customers. We want to look at giving our people a name, giving them a collective identity. In the visibility hacking world, you guys are visibility hackers. So what is the name? What is the identity that you're giving your people? Psychologically speaking, we talk about this a ton on the Visibility Check show, but the psychological trigger that's happening in your brains is that humans really want to feel like they are part of something, like they are part of a larger community, that they are part of something bigger than themselves. And that can be your movement. That can be the business and the solutions that you guys are putting forward. It's the mindset, it's the frame of reference, it's the perspective, right? When we have that identity, then our people will start to be more in our world. They'll start to be part of our community. They'll start to identify as one of us. That will be that blanket of comfort, that community that their brains are desperately seeking for us to be part of. And we can also harness that by getting them results. We use those as testimonials. We share them as success stories for our people. It works every way around. So we want to give our people that, we want to calm that anxiety in our people's brains, even subconsciously, that they want to be part of something bigger than themselves. And when we give them the space to do that, we'll really see them thrive. The next part of the framework is your visuals and your branding. We have this beautiful opportunity to do something bigger than what was previously possible. I love technology because we can use it not only to recreate the same kinds of interactions that we used to have face to face, we can still have those conversations. We can use technology to connect to people on a much larger scale as well. But the coolest thing about technology in my eyes is that we can make, instead of recreating what we could do face to face, like we saw during a lot of lockdowns and school online and working online and all that kind of stuff, is that we actually see this beautiful ability to do something way bigger. Technology allows us to augment, to add to make bigger and better. We can add resources and we can add visuals and we can use our brand. We can add our spice, our flavor to everything that we put out there. So utilizing the technology we have at our fingertips. In Live Academy, we teach you all about the tools that we use to actually create really engaging streams and live content and video content like you see right now. But that's besides the point. We'll get to that later. But having the ability to put your mark on your content is what's going to help people choose to actually watch your stuff. They want to see something that's visually different. They want to see something that's also visually identifiable. They can see without having to listen to your stuff. They can see that it's your brand. They can see what you're talking about, and that will trigger multiple spots in their brain going, yes, I want to see that. Yes, I want to see that. So they're more likely to actually stop scrolling and start watching your content. Beautiful. So where in your visual content, where in your live video, where in your live streams do you have your branding? Are you using StreamYard? And so you have like a square up in the corner with your logo, and you have the StreamYard logo, or do you have your brand colors anywhere? Is there anything that's more than just your face showing up on the stream? So look for those opportunities when you're examining your own content. We also, of course, want to look at monetization. So how are we actually making money? In the visibility hacking world, we're all about teaching you how to build your influence, your authority, and ultimately your income. So when we look at the streaming world, when we look at what's working and how we can actually break down the income of these multi-million-dollar streamers, is simply by looking at how diverse those income streams are. They're really mastering these multiple income streams that are helping them generate massive amounts of money. And you can do this too. And at the same time, the overarching theme that we're also seeing is that they control those streams. They control the basket, as I like to say. They are the ones who are making the main pieces of equity off of these deals. These are not just passive streams that someone else is putting together and they're getting a little drip or drab out of. This is owning those structures, which is something we as internet marketers know very, very well. Even when we are selling affiliate products, we have the ability to control that basket. So making sure that we have our systems in place, our funnels in place, our deals in place, and our diversified income streams all set up and ready to go. So look at your monetization structures. Are you diversified? Do you have the ability to turn on and off as you see fit? This also, in the world of internet marketing, talks to our joint venture partnerships. How many of those partnerships do we have? What do they look like? And more specifically, what do those deals look like? In the world of streaming, we also have seen beautiful movements in what is done with this money. Sometimes it's not just being hoarded and saved and put into big houses and flashy cars, but it's used to actually make a positive impact on their communities. So we also, when we're looking at our monetization, we're looking at the impact of that monetization on our communities and on society as a whole. So we're looking at quite a lot when we're diving into monetization. But for you, if you're choosing to take this as your action step, what I want you to do is list out all of the ways that you generate revenue, whether you are on camera or you are not, whether you're coaching with someone, whether you're on stage, whether you're prepping and researching for something. Let us know. Put those down in your task for today. The next part of the stream is shaping experience. And this can be divided into two parts. Part one, shaping the physical experience. Part 2, shaping the virtual experience. So the physical experience is enabling your people with the tools they actually need to make a difference in their world. So if you are a health coach, you're helping people lose weight and get more energy. So what are the tools you give your people that will help them get more energy and lose more weight? If you are a branding coach, what are the tools that your people can use to actually achieve the results that your brand gives out? If you are a marriage coach, what are the tools that you can give your people that are going to help them have an incredibly successful marriage? What are the tools, the frameworks, the strategies, the step-by-steps, the checklists, all of those? What are the tools that you can give your people to actually help them change the world around them? I mean, have that change in their relationship with their marriage so that their home feels different. They've changed that experience. If you are a health coach, give them the tools they need to change the experience of their body so that they have shaped that part of their life. What are the tools that you use in your business? That's the difference between streamers and internet marketers, is that we actually have solutions for people. We can actually change the world by enabling our people with what they need to achieve those great results, rather than just sitting there and watching you stream. So we're actually going to take action. What are the ways that you can encourage your people to take that action and change the world around them? And I don't just mean all this woo-woo, like save the world thing. I mean, like literally, if you're a motivation coach, can you motivate someone to clean their desk? Can you motivate someone to I don't know, make their bed in the morning? Whatever it is you do, we want to see results from your people. That's what's actually going to keep them coming back for more. That's what's going to instill that identity. That's what's going to connect into your monetization streams. All of that needs to actually happen. All of this rests on a foundation of actually getting your people results. Otherwise, you're just entertaining people. You're just there for comedic relief. And that's not going to keep people coming back for more, for more, for more. So we have that. The other side of shaping experience is shaping the virtual experience. This means when you're showing up live, do your people have the ability to connect with you, to engage, to ask questions that will generate the content that you're producing? So can they shape their physical experience, the life around them? And can they shape that community experience, that virtual experience with you and the community around you? I was working with a client recently and we were going through this process. And when we got to the physical experience, or when we got to experience, she was kind of stuck on these certain ideas of whether or not this is shaping the physical experience or the community experience. So we're designing a cruise for her community to go on, for the high level coaches in her program to go on. And everyone's going to wear the same shirts, but she's giving it over to the community to choose the colors and the designs of the shirts. And so we're wondering, which side does this fit into? Because there's different ways we go about sharing those experiences and encouraging people to take those changes, right? So in the virtual sense, well, that created content for her live streams. That created content for her to start connecting with her people and building up the buzz before the actual event. And because of that, she was able to actually sell more tickets. We were able to actually expand the event by an extra 50%, simply because she was able to use a launch process to get people excited virtually, helping them shape that experience. But then once they arrive at the event itself, they've actually chosen what they're wearing. They've bought they've bought into that identity again. We've solidified that identity again. We're building in the monetization because, hey, they liked actually 3 of the designs that were shared, so they bought all 3 of them, adding more revenue streams. It just keeps going, but you have to understand that there is both the virtual experience or the community experience and the physical experience of what's around them. So there's all of that. Next, we have schedule and format. This is a throwback to old school TV. And I learned this from my wonderful friend Jim Beard, who you will be hearing from soon, I'm pretty sure. But schedule and format is all about making sure that you are reliable to your people. You are predictable to your people, not only in the sense that we can get them results, but in the sense that you're going to show up consistently. This enables your people the opportunity to add you to their schedule, to actually schedule you into their lives. They can make sure that you actually are part of their day to day. Because you show up consistently, they will start to show up consistently. So this means setting a schedule for yourself. If we look at what works on the streaming world, we know that these guys are streaming consistently. And we also look at format. So what's actually happening on your show? Is it predictable? Do we know what's going to happen day in and day out? That gives us a sense of familiarity, but also don't become overly predictable. We want to know that there is an outcome that will happen, that everyone wants to watch for, which encourages watch time. But we also want to make sure that we are spicing it up a little bit. So having that mix in your format, and we're definitely going to hear from Jim, who's going to tell us all about his brilliant format that I think will work for you guys, no matter what kind of internet marketing business you have, whether or not you're a coach or you're an entrepreneur or you're selling gadgets and gadgets, or you are a motivational speaker, for example. This show design is really built to help you guys build your communities and get results for them. We want to make sure that we are showing up consistently. So if you are taking this as your action slice today, I want you to look at your schedule. Are you showing up on a regular basis? Such as the visibility check. We are Monday to Friday, hopefully, and iron out a time schedule if that is available for you as well. Of course, you can experiment at the beginning, figure out test a whole bunch of times, see what's getting more traction, getting more results, and then of course you'll have some more analytics to look at and determine when is the best time for your show to go live. Also, of course, build it around your life as well. The cool thing about being an entrepreneur or a solopreneur is that you get to pick your hours. So pick your hours wisely. And format, look at what you do in your show. Do you have a regular process you go through? Do you have particular segments you always have? Do you have guests at a certain time? Do you mix and match your content so it's kind of more of a variety show? What does your show actually look like? In the visibility hacking movement, we have lots of frameworks and templates and examples of different formats that can work for you guys. But for now, just take a look at what you're doing and see where you can improve on. And finally, we're going to talk about Memeability. Yay! It's not a meme. That's what an old friend of mine calls them. Memeability is the ability for your content to be repurposed and recreated by your fans and by your community. And this is beautiful. Gary Vee does this very, very well. And what he does is he creates his main pillar content, then he creates his micro content, and then from that, he puts that out into the world and watches how his community reacts. Then creates content speaking specifically to those reactions. And because of the way that he introduces that micro content, reaction content, I like to call it, that is how it opens the gate and invites his community to recreate content using his pillar content as inspiration. This is how you go viral. This is how you end up becoming an internet sensation, for example. But you want your people to have an opportunity to recreate your brand and your message. This is beautiful when it happens. There's different ways to do it. There's different levels of it. and each of those different levels has a level of impact associated with it. So there is a lot to think about when you're looking at the whole Stream 360 process. It is rather overwhelming when you look at it at first, when you dive in and really see how many different steps are within each of these slices. But the cool thing is, when you start playing with individual slices on here and taking baby steps on a regular basis, you're actually going to see incredible results, an incredible change in your business and in your visibility. It's absolutely incredible. So thank you guys so much for walking through this process. If you have any questions, comments, concerns, or knock-knock jokes, definitely drop those down in the comments. If you're watching on our YouTube channel, hello! Come join us in the Visibility Hackers Facebook group where we can keep these conversations going. If you haven't subscribed to our YouTube channel, definitely check that out as well, because we drop new videos almost every day. We had a little glitch this morning, but there will be new videos coming up tomorrow for you as well. So in the meantime, check those out. I will see you again for our next episode. Tomorrow we're going to talk about funnels. It's going to be amazing. And we're going to plan out funnels from a step back from what most funnel designers will talk about. We're not going to talk about design. We're going to talk about process, plan, and creating an actual step-by-step process of what you need to make sure you have when you're building out those funnels. So yeah, exciting. I will see you for that one. And in the meantime, remember, I love you. Be excellent to each other, and I'll see you next time.